just look at what is UAC at all. So through Google's app campaigns or universal app campaigns by Google, you can drive app installs and in-app conversions. By conversion, you can define what is your conversion event. So you can define if the conversion event is purchase or add to cart or any specific action within your website or any specific action within your app. So through Google UAC, you can drive install volume, that is maximum number of people actually installing your app, or you can even look at quality app traffic, that is people who are more likely to do a particular event in your app. So let's move on and see what else Google UAC has to offer. Let's look at the different types of placement within Google UAC. So number one is Google Play Store, which is the app store where all the apps are listed. So here, when you search for particular keywords or in relevant categories, you can see the ad come up as placement. Say you are a digital marketing course provider. You can provide a keyword such as learn digital marketing, and your ad could show up in the Google Play Store every time someone searches for a keyword like digital marketing or learn digital marketing. This all depends on the type of keywords that you have provided on the Google UAC campaigns. The second one is Google Search and Partners. So Google Search as well is a part of Google UAC campaigns. So you provide the keywords and headlines, and Google decides which keywords or which people are most likely to download your app within those keywords. So someone searches for learn digital marketing, say again on Google Search Network or Search Partners, and your ad is likely to show up over there. So Google again shows to people who are most likely to install your app, or if your campaign objective is to drive more conversions within the app, then Google will identify those people who are most likely to take a specific action on your app and then show the ad to them. The third one is Google Display Network. So Google Display Network is the whole list of websites that Google has partnered with where you can show up your ads. Of course, Google Display Network campaigns are completely different. Here in UAC campaigns, the objective is to drive installs in the Google Display Network. So it will show the ad on the whole list of Google Display partner websites. The objective will be to drive app installs specifically. The fourth one is YouTube. YouTube being one of Google's most strongest property, where you can see maximum traffic, maximum conversion, and highly engaged audience. YouTube is an effective placement for UAC. Of course, within UAC, you cannot define specific placements. You cannot define search network, display, or YouTube, but you can provide assets for all these three, and Google will decide which is the best property for you. So in YouTube as well, you can provide the video assets, which is highly recommended by the Google team. And YouTube is a placement where you can see effective app installs on UAC campaigns. So why UAC or Universal App Campaigns? I think you yourself can answer that question. Just look at the number of apps within your phone. That itself signifies the amount of time most people spend on apps every single day. Statistics suggest that over 85% of the time spent on mobile devices are used on apps. So apps are much more user-friendly, they're much more engaging, they're much more easier to use. So that itself is a reason why a lot of people spend time on apps. And like I said, 85% of the time spent using the mobile is spent on apps. So you can see that today we have different types of apps, such as ride-sharing apps, we have grocery apps, we have e-commerce stores, we have multiple apps like social media. I think a lot of time is spent on social media apps. So that itself defines the reason why spending on app engagement or app install will be very vital for your business if you have an app. The second is the ease of use. So UAC campaigns are completely automated. So you just have to provide the assets and define what is your objective within app install. Is it app install or install volume with an engagement metric, or do you want to see conversion, or you can even select a target return on ad spend. So there are different types of objectives that you can use within the UAC campaigns. And post that, it's a very simple process where you just have to provide the assets to Google, and Google itself decides who is the best person to see your ad and convert. And over time, your campaign starts learning and you will see very good results in the future. So the third reason, like I mentioned, you can drive not just app installs, you can drive actions somewhere down the funnel. So you can drive people who will install and are most likely to purchase. So you can drive high intent audience through Google UAC campaigns. And it is for you to define what step that you want your audience to take action in. So it can be that you want more people to just install your app at an early stage in your business. Probably you want to drive high install volume. You just want more and more people to download your app, but probably at a later stage, you want high quality audience. You want people who are most likely to take some action within your app. So that is where UAC really plays an important role. So the fourth reason is reach across Google properties. So Google properties itself is very, very strong. So you get a mix of all the Google properties in UAC campaigns. You get Google search, you get Google display network, you get YouTube placements. So these three are very, very strong properties where most of the audiences are present. So through Google app campaigns, you really tap into a really huge pool of audience. And Google, being Google, knows most information about these people and knows where each customer is most likely to convert. So I think that is very important for you to drive high quality installs. So through Google UAC campaigns, you can really unlock the potential of machine learning, Google's machine learning, and really reach out to all those potential customers out there. Now let's look at the different types of UAC. That is, in universal app campaigns, what different types do we have? So we are primarily looking at three separate buckets within universal app campaigns. So one is app install, the second is app engagement, and the third is app pre-registration. In this video, we'll mostly be talking about the app install piece of it. Within app install, there are three subtypes. So that is, you can drive install volume. So install volume would mean that you're looking to acquire maximum number of app installs. So you are not really worrying too much about the quality of users, but you are really wanting to drive maximum number of app installs at the least cost that you have in mind. The second is in-app action. So here you are trying to drive app installs. The objective still remains as app installs, but you have an in-app action in mind. So that in-app action could be whatever you define to be within your app. So it could be any action that you define within the app. It could be a registration event, it could be an add to cart event, purchase event, whatever action that is most important for you in your business. So that action, you can add that action. So it can be an install with an in-app action. So you are looking at more people installing, but you want people who are most likely to take that specific action. The third one is in-app action value. So you are really looking at return on ad spend through this. So you can tell Google that I'm willing to spend 1,000 rupees or 2,000 or 10,000 rupees, but I want 200% of returns through that, or I want 100% of returns through that. So you're mostly looking at return on ad spend in this type of UAC. So here you can tell Google that I'm willing to pay 10,000 rupees, but I want to get 10,000 rupees back. That is, I want 100% return on ad spend, or like a 200% return on ad spend. So of course, this campaign is something that it improves over learning. It's not like you'll get 200% return on ad spend from day one. You will have to wait for Google to learn in your campaign and understand which strategy works best, or if you're able to attain a 200% return on ad spend, or whatever is it that the number that you have added. So within that, it is something that you will have to try, test, and understand which campaign type within UAC works best for you. Coming to app engagement, that is the second type within UAC. So app engagement campaigns we will not be covering in this video because this is a product that is not available for everyone out there. So app engagement campaigns in UAC are highly effective. These are campaigns that can really engage your warm audiences and really push them down the funnel and make them convert down the line. So app engagement campaigns are for existing people within your app ecosystem. So it could be someone who just opened your app. So you will have to create audiences within Google. So you'll have to create a list of people who have engaged on your app. Say someone who has opened your app and not taken an action. Could be someone who opened your app, added to cart, but did not convert post that. So you'll have to define what are those audiences that you want to create and then target them towards the action that you want. Just to give you a quick example, it could be someone who viewed a digital marketing course, who downloaded the Great Learning app, took some action within the app, probably viewed the digital marketing course, but did not end up purchasing it. So you can use UAC engagement campaigns to actually target those audiences and help them convert and push them down the funnel. So these campaigns are not available in every Google Ads account. So for UAC engagement, it is suggested that you have a separate account altogether. So you should not combine it with your regular ad account where you're running search, display, or the UAC install campaign types with discovery, whatever type of campaigns that you run within Google Ads. For UAC engagement, it is suggested that you have a separate account altogether. And there is one criteria as well that needs to be met. You will have to have over 250k downloads on your app to actually begin using UAC app engagement. That is, if you want to use a UAC engagement, you will have to meet that criteria of having 250k installs already on your app, and you will also need a separate account or Google Ads account. So this is mostly because in UAC engagement, you will want the campaigns to have a separate type of learning. So the conversion events will have a new type of learning, which is not to be confused with the other campaigns that are running. So UAC engagement will be in a separate account, but in this video, we will not be covering because app engagement type is not available for everyone out there. Of course, you can still see them as a type which is available when you're launching UAC campaigns, but you will not be able to actually launch app engagement campaigns if you don't meet the criteria. The third one is app pre-registration. Again, this too will not be covered in this video because app pre-registration is something before you launch the app. So you want more people to pre-register for your app. That is why that feature or that type is available. But this is available only for Android. The others are available for both Android and iOS. So let's quickly move on and see what next in UAC campaigns. Before getting started with your UAC campaigns, there are a few prerequisites that you have to keep in mind. So a few things that are required before you actually get started with your Google app campaigns. The first one is understanding your objective. So I keep reiterating on this because for every campaign that you launch, it is fundamental that you know what your objective is in the first place. So by understanding your objective, in this case, I mean that are you trying to drive app install, that is install volume, or are you trying to drive install volume with higher intent users? I think mostly in the initial stages, people would want to drive more install volume because you want people to actually install your app and experience it. At most times, it is suggested by the Google team to run both install volume as well as an in-app action campaign. So many businesses actually drive both campaigns. They drive app install volume campaigns where they can see more people actually downloading the app, and there would be install volume with an in-app action that they have in mind. So it is for you to decide which campaign strategy that you would mostly want to use, but install volume would mostly make sense for you at an initial stage, and also it would drive sustenance and you would see a continuous flow of app installs through that. So you can decide which objective that you want to use, which type you want to use within the UAC campaigns. And if you want to use an app engagement campaign, just keep in mind that you would have to have over 250K downloads, and over that you would also need another Google Ads account. So that is a very simple setup to start another Google Ads account. But the main objective that you have to keep in mind is that you will have 250K downloads for app engagement campaigns. You will have to create your audiences within the Google audiences. You will have to create separate segments within your app. The second prerequisite is having an app. So I think that is a no-brainer for this particular video. It is called Google App Campaign. So you would definitely need to have an app to actually promote it. But for the sake of this video, I can show you how you can just test out a Google App Campaign without actually having an app. You can just search for some app out there and test it out. If you just want to try out how to launch a UAC campaign, you can try it out with a different app out there. So that shouldn't be an issue. I can show you how to do that. But if you're looking at promoting your own business, you would definitely need to have an app to actually use this campaign to scale your app. The third requirement is the assets itself. So you would need text, image, and video. So all these three are required to actually launch a Google App Campaign. So like I mentioned, these are going to be on Google Search Network, where you will be using text ads, Google Display Network, where image ads will be used, and YouTube, where video assets will be used. So a mix of all these three can help you really scale your campaign and use the huge pool of audience that's available within Google's entire network. So for these, all these three types aren't compulsory, but to start off, I think text ads are mandatory to actually start off with a UAC campaign. You can also add a mix of text and image for starters and wait till you get video assets created if you don't have video assets to begin with. And the fourth one, you need to have a Google AdWords or Google Ads account, because without that, we cannot move any further, because you will have to test out how to actually implement a Google App Campaign or a UAC campaign. You can only do that on a Google Ads account. So you will need that definitely to help your business scale and help your app grow to the next level. So without further ado, let's quickly look at the Google Ads dashboard. Let's see how to launch a Google UAC campaign. So now let's look at the Google Ads account. Let's see how exactly that you can set up a Google UAC campaign or Google App Campaign. To begin with, this is my test account for Google Ads. So let's get started with a campaign. So to start off with a new campaign, you will have to click on the plus icon here, or if you are in the home page, then you can also click on new campaign here. So if you are in the overview tab, you can click on new campaign here, or you can go to campaigns and you can click on plus. So here you will have to click on the new campaign option. Post this, you don't have to break your head on deciding which campaign objective to choose, because there is only one where you can drive app installs, which you can use for UAC campaigns or universal app campaigns. You'll have to select app promotion objective. So here you can see that there is an app option. So drive app promotion across Google's networks. So if you hover over this, you can see that you can drive app promotion with automated campaign. You can see that you can use them on Google Search Network, Display Network, Google Play, that is Google Play Store, other apps, and on YouTube. So here, coming to this, we have three types, that is app installs, that you want to get new people to install your app, app engagement, that is you can get existing users to take actions on your app. So this is only for audiences who already are in your app ecosystem. So people who are aware of your app, have your app installed, probably engaged with your app. So it could be anyone who just installed your app and registered. Once you have their data, then you can just retarget to them and push them down the funnel, make them take the action that you want them to take. So app engagement campaign, like I mentioned, there are a few prerequisites that you will have to have: 250k plus downloads, and you will need a separate Google Ads account where you're running only Google app engagement campaigns. So this is a separate one which we will not be covering in this video, because this is not available to everyone out there. Although this app engagement, you can still select this type, you will not be able to launch the campaign because if you don't have 250k plus downloads. So let's just use app install, and app pre-registration is, again, it's very self-explanatory, to get new users to pre-register to your app before the launch. So before you actually launch the app, you can ask them to pre-register for it. So that is a different type altogether. In this video, what we'll be covering is app installs. So here you can select on Android. So you have the option for Android or iOS. So I don't have an app that I want to show out. I don't have an app that is my own and I can promote. So for the sake of this video, even if you don't have an app, you can search for some app out there on Google Play Store and you can actually try promoting it. You don't have to spend money on it. As soon as you launch the campaign, you can probably pause it. So that way you don't end up burning your money, but you will also learn how to launch this very, very important campaign type. So coming to Android, what I'll do is I can search for Great Learning. It's already popped up for me, but I'm just going to show you how to do it anyway. Great Learning. So I can select Great Learning here, and they have already selected the app for me. So here I can click on continue. And as you can see, the setup is quite easy. So all you have to do is probably, I'll mention this as UAC campaigns for digital marketing. So here I've mentioned the campaign name as UAC campaigns and digital marketing course. The campaign name is completely up to you what you want to enter. It's just that you need to be able to identify what the campaign contains. So it's just for your ease. So if you want to mention if it's an install volume or in-app action campaign that you're launching, you can definitely mention that in the campaign name, so that the next time when you look at the campaign name, you know what exactly it contains. So basis whatever is easy for you, you can use the campaign name. You can even probably use the date in the campaign name, or if you're targeting certain locations, you can do that as well in the campaign name. So here I'm going to select just India. So it can be presence or interest, people who have shown interest in your target locations. Presence, people in or regularly in your targeted location. So you can change this if you want. I'm just going to leave it as is. So again, in languages, English is selected by default. I will remove this and keep it as all languages because I don't want to restrict my campaign only to English users. Although my ads will be in English, you can go about it. I think that is completely up to you how you want to approach it. So say your ads are in Hindi or a certain language, you can definitely use that specific language, but it's best to keep it open. You can take the call on it on how exactly you want to go about the language settings. Coming to the budget, you can enter a daily budget that you have in mind. I'm just going to keep 100 rupees so that I don't end up spending on this campaign. I don't end up spending too much on a test campaign. So I'm just testing the waters here. I'll just put 100 rupees. I'm going to pause the campaign right after this video. So just in case I forget, I'm just going to use a very minimal budget here. So I've just put 100 rupees, and you can already see that Google has suggested a target CPI, that is a cost per install. TCPI would mean that target cost per install. So Google has suggested that you can look at somewhere around 25.74 will be your cost per each install. So you can also see that there is a daily budget that you have mentioned is come up here. So now coming to the bidding type, you can see that there is install volume, in-app actions, and in-app action value. So here you can see that I don't have the in-app action and in-app action value because I have not set up the conversion, because you will need to assign a certain conversion event to actually use that action. So you need to define what is your purchase event. You need to have a conversion tracking. So if you look at it here in measurement, there will be conversions. So here you will have to set up your conversion action within your app. This particular account doesn't have access to the Great Learning app, so I cannot really define the conversion events. I cannot add that in this specific video. So what we'll do is we will focus on install volume, so I can generate maximum installs. You can see that choose to maximize install volume. So this in-app action and in-app action value is not available, but the setup is quite similar. All you have to do is select in-app action and choose the conversion event that you want. So it could be purchase, add to cart, open the app, register, whatever the conversion event that you decide and put on Google, pass it back to Google, that you can add in this campaign and you can use it to actually scale your campaign. So for this, we'll use install volume, and install volume will be tracked on the app, which is the Play Store install volume, which we'll be tracking. So what kind of users do you want to target? So again, on this install volume as well, you can select the type of users that you want. So people who are most likely to take an in-app action. So once your conversion action is set, then what you can do is you can say that I want install volume. I want more people to install my app, but I also want to focus on an event. So it can be that I want more number of installs, but the people who are installing are most likely to take a certain action on my app, and I define what that action is. Is it registration, add to cart, open a certain course page? So define that conversion action and you can use that here too. So since that's not available, since I haven't linked this ad account to the Great Learning app, we are going to use it as all users. But otherwise, all you have to do is click on users likely to perform an in-app action and select that conversion event. So here you can also set a target cost per install. So here Google has suggested that 25.74 is the amount that is a suggested CPI or a cost per install. So here I can put the amount as 26, and Google has also suggested 26. So you can just apply this here, and probably later down the line you might see lower numbers or higher numbers for the install. That is, for the CPI you might see higher or lower numbers, and that time you can adjust this bid amount. Or what you can do is you can also remove this, that is, you don't enter a cost per install bid amount at all, and basis that Google will decide what the amount actually looks like. So again, you can enter a start or end date. This is completely up to you. If you want to add one, you can definitely add one, but I'm going to keep that as the same day because this is a test campaign and I don't want to end up burning my monies. So in case I forget to pause it, I'm just going to leave an end date. But if you're going to run this campaign for long, you don't have to enter an end date. And in most app install campaigns, it is mostly an ongoing process. You don't really have an end date in mind that you want to stop app installs in the future. So it's mostly an ongoing thing. You might not want an end date, but that's completely up to you. Just decide that for yourself. See when you want to keep the start and end date, and then you can take a call on it. Coming to advanced options, again, there's a data feed option as well. If you have a product feed for your business, then you can definitely implement that. This will be useful for e-commerce platforms as well. So you can attach a data feed if needed, and then we can go ahead and save and continue. So here again, you will have to mention the ad group name. So this is again completely dependent on what you're actually using in the ad group. So say you're using just digital marketing courses in one ad group, and probably a data science course in another, and say a C++ course in another ad group. So you can just probably mention the course name or whatever the category type is within the ad group. If you have any other details in mind, you can definitely enter them, but I think mostly it'll be just about that. So I'm just going to enter this as digital marketing courses. So here you will have to enter up to 5 headlines, 5 descriptions, up to 20 images, and up to 20 videos as well. So these are the assets that you need. As you see, it's a very simple setup. So this is all you need. You don't need any more steps to actually create the UAC campaign. So once you enter these assets, that's just about it. You don't need anything else to actually launch your UAC campaign. So let's look at our final step in launching a Google UAC campaign. So I'm just going to enter a sample headline. So I put learn digital marketing, and I'm just going to leave it as is. Learn digital marketing from Great Learning on Great Learning. So it's always suggested that within your headlines and descriptions, try to use keywords that are most relevant. So say in your search you see that these keywords are converting best, so try to implement those keywords within your headline and description copies, because in the end these text and descriptions will go on Google search network too. So just keep that in mind and ensure that you enter copies that are most likely to convert. So here again I have to enter at least 2 headlines, so that is mandatory. So I'm just going to enter one more. So say digital marketing courses. So I have entered 2 headlines now. If you look at it, I can enter up to 5 of them with a 30 character limit. And Google also suggests that how your ad is performing. So mostly Google has suggested that I've entered headlines, I've entered descriptions, and if I enter more of these, this green little dot will actually become full. So that will indicate that I have enough headlines and enough descriptions. So as of now, images and videos, it says that I haven't added any, which is not a good sign. So here you can see that this is what your ad will look like. So Google has made a pre-filled without actually providing a creative. Google has shown me what your ad will look like even without images. So let me try if we can actually use, you don't have to enter images. Actually I'll just add one image and see. So I have one Great Learning image. Let me see if this works. So basically you have 3 dimensions here, that is a landscape one, a square one, and another dimension as well. So here you can actually crop the image, or you can select this and you can see the dimensions here: 1:1, 4:5, 1.91:1. So these 3 are the assets that you can use. So here you can see the assets that you have selected. So I've only selected 1 out of 20 images that are required. So let's see if this is enough. So I think you can also launch it with just text ads if you don't have image ads ready. So let me see if it works without images too. I think it should. Let's just try that out. But it is suggested that you add videos as well. So maybe let's try a video by Great Learning. So again here too, you will have to add it on your YouTube and probably create it as an unlisted video and then use it on the video network. So here you can see that there are long videos, but I don't want a 1-hour video for my ad. So I will try to stick to the 11-minute video, which is also quite high for an ad. So ideally you would want to create an asset which is about 1 minute. I don't think it should exceed 1 to 2 minutes. So try to keep it within that. Some people even suggest an ad limit of about 15 to 30 seconds. Try to keep it short and crisp as long as it conveys the whole message. So for this video, I'll just use the 11-minute video so we can understand how to actually implement that. So you can add the video here. Let's see if it works without a video and text ad at all. So I know that a lot of people might not have enough bandwidth to create an image or a video asset. So let's see if this works without text and video. So here you go. You don't even need a display and video asset. So you can create it with just some text assets. But ideally it's recommended that you use both image and video along with text. So that is where you can unlock the complete potential of UAC campaigns. So here you can add up to 20 video assets, 20 images, and along with that you have to add text as well. So this is where you can really unlock the potential of Google app campaigns or UAC campaigns. So all you have to do now is continue to campaign, and we have created our first Google app campaign or UAC campaign. So I will go ahead and pause this campaign so that I don't forget about it. Let's see. So this, you just have to enter the campaign type, which is so I'll pause this and we can see what it entails. So here you can see an overview of how the ad performed, which targeting locations are included, where it's performing, where you're seeing most impressions, clicks, installed. So you can decide that how things are working well for you. And coming to the ad groups, you can see which ad groups are performing well. If you want to look at which placement or which network is driving higher traction, you can look at that too. So currently we haven't launched any, the campaign hasn't been running, hence you can't see the data, but you can see the bifurcation here: Google search, search partners, display network, YouTube search, YouTube videos, cross network. So you can see all these metrics here. So all you have to do is go to segment and go to network with search partners. You can again break down basis conversion action, category, whatever suits you best. Probably hour of the day you want to see how many installs came in at what hour of the day, day, week, month, quarter. So there are a host of options within analyzing the campaigns and seeing what worked best for you. You can also see additional columns if they interest you, or if there is some other metric that you want to have a look at. So you can look at audiences. So here you won't be able to provide any audience as such, but you can also look at, so in audiences, you can use an exclusion. So if you want to exclude your existing visitors, you can do that in audiences. In locations, you can see the locations that are working best. In case you have added additional locations, then you can see which are the ones that gave you higher traction. So since we haven't launched this campaign, we haven't spent monies on it, there is no specific number that Google is able to provide. So that's about it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you are ready to launch your first Google app campaign or Google UAC. I hope you really enjoyed this. Do let me know if you have any feedback or if you have any specific queries regarding UAC campaigns. Thank you so much for watching.